Hi everyone, Carter Krishnaiyer here for the Florida Squeeze. It's been a while since I made one of these, although we're going to make a lot of them between now and the election. So hit that subscribe button to subscribe to us on YouTube. We've kind of moved to a podcast / video format with the Florida Squeeze, away from our long-term blog site format. A long time since I made one because I've been busy with the World Cup, some cricket stuff. I'm writing a book about cricket. I'm going to have more on that because that has a lot of Florida, particularly Broward County stuff in it. And then the FIFA election, the election's in March, but FIFA politics stuff around Johnny Infantino has taken up a lot of my time, in addition to my local work with the Boca Raton Tribune. One also reminds some of y'all, I have several books about Florida history out there. Just Google my name or put my name into Amazon and you'll find them if you want to order them. That would be much appreciated. I think you'll learn a lot. And it's the real history, not the whitewashed history or the non-history that Florida school children are now being taught in our Florida public schools. So anyway, let's talk about Congressional District 25. I know there was lots of energy on the left. Lots and lots and lots of energy on the left for Oliver Larkin in that primary against Jared Moskowitz. I get it. I understand it. But ultimately, it wasn't going to make a difference. Larkin was never going to win the nomination in the newly redrawn, gerrymandered Republican District 25. Jared Moskowitz wins the nomination, self-proclaimed DeSantis Democrat. But guess what? I think the DeSantis Democrat has a chance. I think it's always fool's gold when Democrats go after think that they're going to get all these Republican crossover votes anywhere in Florida. It just doesn't happen. Historically, it's been the other way around. Democrats until 2022 had a major registration advantage. Now Republicans have a huge registration advantage and they get the majority of independent votes on top of that. Maybe that's not going to happen this cycle, but until it doesn't happen, I'm sticking with it that this is a heavily Republican state, a state that is the only state east of the Mississippi that has not had a Democratic governor this century. That's Florida. But let's talk about District 25 and why Jared Moskowitz is positioned to get some Republican crossover votes. And it's not just that he worked for Ron DeSantis, it's that the Republicans have nominated former Boca Raton Mayor Scott Singer, who was so unpopular when he left office that every candidate that was associated with him on the ballot, even though I have to tell you, I know just about everybody who ran in the Boca Council elections personally. I don't think anyone wanted to really be associated with Singer. But those that were by, guilt by association, that were linked to Singer somehow, were trounced in the municipal election. The pet project, the legacy project of Scott Singer, the downtown redevelopment, got beat 2-1 in a ballot referendum. And even the bond issue for the police station, something that normally would be non-controversial, got defeated because Singer was associated with it and Singer was that unpopular. Boca is a heavily Republican city. Singer has wrapped himself as an America First Republican. But Boca Raton Republicans historically have been pretty cautious about development, concerned about green space, concerned about quality of life, concerned about sprawl. They've been kind of your classic NIMBY Republicans, if you want to use a yuppie NIMBY Republicans from the 1980s. That was a term a lot of people used in the 1980s. So many of those people are Democrats now, if you think about the areas where Chicago suburbs, Philly suburbs, where we kind of popularized those terms. Singer is poison to those people. They may still be Republicans. They still may be conservative Republicans on other issues. They may go to the ballot and vote to cancel out their own property taxes, leaving the cities on the hook for services that they can't afford. They may be culturally people that are very supportive of the DeSantis agenda and the Trump agenda. But they do not like the fact that Scott Singer was, the way he conducted himself as mayor of Boca Raton in trying to push this legacy project through, this downtown redevelopment project, which was very unpopular, as I said, which Singer would not listen to citizen pushback on it, was determined to plow over, and I kid you not, this is a Republican we're talking about here, plow over a veterans memorial from World War II, denying the history of the memorial, and then wanting to redevelop it with condos and retail. And then when that didn't happen, he was quick to dedicate it and put his name on a plaque at the memorial. I kid you not. It doesn't matter if Donald Trump won this district by almost 10 points in 2022. I think it's going to be competitive. In 2024. DeSantis won it by even more in 2022 if you look at the redrawn district. Because Singer is toxic in Boca Raton. And a lot of those people are going to cross over and vote for Jared Moskowitz. I'm telling you, if George Moraitis had been nominated, I know those of you who follow the legislature think Moraitis was kind of like an ineffective, just yes man legislator. You could make that case, but he would have won the election. He would have beaten Moskowitz. I have no doubt in my mind about that. I think it's competitive, but it's like 52-48, and Moraitis definitely wins, and there's not much to move on the margins. But because Singer has been nominated, I think Moskowitz has a chance to take this seat that was drawn with the deliberate intent to elect a Republican. And Moskowitz has moved from his district, which is now the 23rd district, where Pia Dandia, we might talk about her in the future, is a Democratic nominee, and has moved into this district in East Coastal District. And he has a chance to win because Singer is the nominee. So keep an eye on this race. I think it's going to be very, very interesting because there's a lot of baggage associated with Singer. I don't have time to detail everything that happened in Boca Raton that I reported on for the Boca Raton Tribune during that period of time. But I'm just telling you, Singer, I think, is toxic. He can try and link himself to Donald Trump, which is a good strategy, by the way, in South Florida. Donald Trump remains very popular in South Florida. I hear all this stuff about how unpopular Trump is and how this is going to be a wave election. And you know what? And I turn around and I say, that must be in other places. That's certainly not down here. That's certainly not in the Tampa Bay area, which I've spent a lot of time in the last few months. It's definitely not in Southwest Florida, where I spend a lot of time. I mean, I think Trump is as popular as he's ever been in most of these places. Now, that could be just my rough observation. Polling does not bear that out. Although polling still bears out he's much more popular in Florida than he is in Georgia, for instance, or Texas, which is a state he did better in 2024 than Florida, and in 2020, and in 2016. He's done better all three times he's run in Texas than he has in Florida. And he's more popular in Florida than he is in Ohio. It's another state he did better than Florida. No, actually he didn't. He about the same in 2024. Did better in Ohio in 2020 than he did in Florida. And he's certainly more popular in Florida than he is in Iowa. State he won three times, but a state that Obama had carried relatively easily in 8 and 12. I mean, that's where, if you're into political science, and our friend Dave Trotter does this, if you want to find those vaunted, which a lot of people on the left deny exist, and a lot of people on the right deny exist, but they do exist. Trust me, I know some of them. If you want to find the classic, I voted for Obama twice and then voted for Trump 3-time voter, you go to Iowa. You go to Wisconsin. You go outside the cities in Wisconsin. You go to parts of Florida. You go to parts of Ohio. But they exist, and I think they exist in mass more in Iowa than any other place. And I think if Obama ran, if suddenly term limits were gone and Obama ran again, he'd have a chance of carrying Iowa against Trump, whereas no other Democrat would. So worth noting. But I do think, importantly, this Congressional District 25 is going to be one to watch and keep an eye on it.